Australian radio interview. AC/DC on Triple M.
Was there any time in, I guess, the last couple of years, obviously you've been busy doing other things, but was there any time when AC/DC, the band itself, discussed maybe not going again? Was there ever any doubt?
It was never mentioned. It was never brought up. I just think, we had been hitting it pretty hard the last few years, touring.
Now, a little bird told me that in order for you to warm up both live and in recording, you yodel. Is that correct, or is that a joke?
No, before a gig, you hear so many. I've been to other gigs, and you'll hear the singer, and the singers always have their own room in other bands, which I think is quite freaky, and you'll hear them going ha 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 ha, and all of this shit, and you're going, what the hell? I just go into the bathroom, and the lads always can always tell, and I go in and I go, yeah! And I come out and I go, that's me fixed.
Now, I'm going to ask the big question that everyone is obviously asking. Why the hell did it take so long to do another album? What have you been doing?
Well, we stopped touring in, just before 9/11, the big 9/11 thing, and that's about 7 years ago. But then we went back out again. We did some big summer shows with the Stones in Germany and all that. And then we did the SARS benefit in Canada, which was
2003, that was?
2003, yeah. And the boys went into the studio in London, and I went over and joined them for about 2 periods of about 6 weeks each, and then, put some ideas down with the boys, vocals and things, and then I thought, well, I'll go back, lads. Give me a shout when you think you're ready, and I in my mind, I'm quite clear about what they were doing. They wanted something special, and that's why there was about 50 tracks to pick from. I mean, they had so many tracks that they'd put down, and I'm pleased I wasn't the one that had to choose them, because they were all bloody good, and especially, Malcolm and Angus, they come out with these riffs, and they all sound easy when you hear them. I mean, they're just amazing, and every time, and it's always exciting for me when they say, right, Jonah, come and have a listen to this, see if this is good for you to sing to and all that. And you're listening, and where the hell did you pull them from? And it was the same. We went up to Vancouver there, and, of course, we were very lucky to work with Brendan O'Brien, the producer. He's just fits in perfect with the band.
Well, Brendan's a real sort of 90s kind of super producer. What was it that you guys thought he could bring to your new album?
Well, a different direction. Not a different direction. You say, I've got to be careful what I say here. Yeah. He just brought a different feel. He said, you don't like studios, do you? I said, I hate them. He said, what don't you like about it? I said, all the buttons and the thing this is where you're supposed to sing. This is where you're supposed to perform. And there's the headphones and the mics. I said, I just like to hold a mic in my hand. And he said, okay. And then the next day we came in and he gave me this great big SM56 mic with a big bracket on the end, weighed a half a ton. And he said, you don't like headphones either? I said, I don't like headphones. So he just put some speakers in a little room behind the reception desk.
Right.
And that's where I sang all the songs. He just played back the backing track.
Yep.
And I just sat there and I, scared the living crap out of everybody that was coming into the studio, and the poor little receptionist. She didn't know what that. I thought I was strangling a deer or something in there. And now and again, one of the guys had this big German shepherd that every time he heard me starting to sing, and I don't blame him, it started howling and barking. So I had to keep cutting it and getting the dog outside and to start again. But that's what I liked about it, because it was dead ordinary. It wasn't supposed to be done there. So, and I just let fly, and I had a grand time doing it,
Direct from some upmarket overpriced hotel room in New York City. AC/DC. One-on-one with Miff Warhurst.
So you look pretty fine. You're obviously living the good life at the moment. Are you?
I don't know about that.
You look fantastic, I have to say.
Are
you prepared to get back on the road? Because obviously that is one of the most physically grueling things you can do.
Yeah.
And it's going to take quite a bit out of you.
Yeah, I got a fitness regime that I go through, and I enjoy it.
What is it? What do you do?
I run about. Every morning in Florida. That's pretty hot.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I run about 3-4 miles a day, and then work out in the gym for about 4 days a week, and and just swim a lot, you know, and it's it just tries to keep you as fit as possible, because you don't want to get on stage and people feel sorry for you and poor sod. He should be in a wheelchair, that bugger, isn't it? So,
And you,
you know.
and you blokes have worn very tight jeans for a very long time. You know, some of those early 80s jeans I saw, and I've just thought, was there ever a time you wanted to go on stage in a pair of tracksuit pants?
Well, I wouldn't
Something
mind,
comfortable.
I wouldn't mind getting on a pair of shorts. Like, I get quite jealous of Angus, actually. Sometimes, you know, in the big sweaty arenas and all that, and you're sweating your bollocks off. And there's him wafting about getting his, you know, meeting 2 veg head.
Yeah.
Getting lots of air conditioning up there, you know. And, but I guess, we always comfortable. I mean, this is the same stuff as I wore 28 years ago, 29 years ago. It's the same stuff.
Yep.
And I think the audience might feel comfortable by going, geez, thank God for that. The whole world's changing. But these buggers is exactly the same, you know.
And in the live shows too, I remember hearing that sometimes, you know, because there's so many songs in the AC/DC catalogue that you sometimes need a little teleprompter to help you along. Are you going to have to do it this time? Because it's been a fair few years.
I mean, it's getting a joke now. And it's all, I mean, it's
all right.
saying,
I'd do the same.
Yeah, I mean, it's getting a joke now. And I was one of the few singers left that didn't use one. You know, I mean,
Also Brian Wilson,
if
he
you're in a
used
young
one.
band and you've got one album out and you know everything, you know.
Yep.
But now it's just getting nuts because we'll be in France and there's a couple of songs there that, you know, especially What's Next to the Moon and Gone Shooting, stuff like that. And I'm really big over there. And you might not have done them for 12 years. There's not a hope in hell. You've got time to learn 2 songs here and then learn another 2 songs. It's just not possible. So you've got to use a teleprompter. Sometimes you don't use it all night. It's just there as a blue blanket. It's just there, you know, so you don't panic.
Because if you stuff it up, the fans would be absolutely. They couldn't. Has there been a time when you've actually forgotten in the middle of, say, one of the huge songs? Has that happened to you?
Well, the last time I did this gig in London, I'll never forget. I was real sick, and I had to get some fluid pumped out of me lungs. And I didn't know if I could go on. And the doctor said, well, it was at the hospital at Kingston, and the doctor said, you know, this is really bad. And I said, well, shit, the gig's tomorrow night. And the manager said, well, can he play or can he not play? And the doctor said, well, I can't tell you. He said, why not? He said, because I've got a ticket. So anyway, he said, listen, take this wonder drug. And I said, what is it? He said, it'll get you through this show, but make sure you get your hotel room straight after because you're going to... I said, whatever. I said, I'll take it. So I get on there, and the first song was Singers Back in Black.
Well, are you surprised, though, by the level of interest? Because even in Australia, over Father's Day, I think 5 AC/DC albums, old albums, actually ended up in the top 100 again, which is extraordinary.
I know, me darling, it is. And you know, we don't count our blessings, obviously. We don't take it, you know, as though we're nothing, believe you me. You know, we don't take it for granted. And but it's hard to figure out why. You know, we're just not that kind of guys.
Yeah.
You know, you've seen Angus and Malcolm and Phil and Cliff. They're just regular blokes, and it's hard for people to believe that you know we still act like that. You know.
Do you think that's the secret, though, to AC/DC's success? It seems that you guys are pretty egoless.
Yeah,
you know, you're pretty. You're amazing musically, but you remain, I guess, accessible.
Yeah, as I say, you know, we're all left school at 15. Every single one of us. Went into the factories, you know, to serve what times apprentices or whatever it was. And I'm not saying that that's the answer, because there's other guys I've met who've done that and who are big-headed dickheads. And and for us, it's just you know, we keep away from them. As you know, we're asking before. Somebody was asking us before, don't you even feel like you've got a bit of celebrity? And Angus answered. She said, well, we don't mix with it, you know. We don't mix with that side, you know.
And you never have.
No, you know, we're not at the fashion shows or the opening of letters, you know, whatever it is that they go to. And it's all right. That suits us down to the ground. We're not missing out on anything, you know.
Well, Brian, it has been an absolute pleasure.
Little miff, no problem, me darling.
Check out our tribute to Akadaka online now. TripleM.com.au. Only on Triple M.